Imagine sitting completely alone in a darkness so deep that you can't even see your own hands. No street lights, no houses, no phones, no flashlights, no sound except the wind moving through the trees and strange noises coming from somewhere beyond the edge of your vision. Now imagine that every sound could mean that this was not a horror movie. This was normal life for most of human history. Many gods, monsters, and myths may have been born from the same fear that haunted our ancestors in the darkness of the night. And the strange part is that this ancient fear never truly disappeared. In fact, a piece of it is still living inside your brain right now. For modern humans, night is often peaceful. We watch movies, scroll through social media, and sleep behind locked doors. But for our ancestors, darkness transformed the world into something completely different. During the day, they could see danger approaching, they could spot predators, find food, and navigate the landscape. But when the sun disappeared, certainty disappeared with it. The darkness hid everything. A bush moving in the wind could be a lion, a strange sound could be a snake, a shadow could be another tribe waiting to attack. And here's where things become fascinating. The human brain evolved with one simple rule. It is better to imagine a threat that isn't there than to ignore. A threat that is. Think about that for a moment. If our ancestor heard a strange noise in the darkness and assumed it was nothing, they might become dinner. But if they assumed it was a predator, even when they were wrong, they survived. Over thousands of generations, evolution rewarded brains that expected danger. This is why your heart still races when you hear an unexpected noise at night. Your brain is running ancient software, but darkness created another problem. Humans are pattern-seeking creatures. Our brains hate uncertainty. We constantly search for explanations. We want every sound, every movement, and every strange event to make sense. Yet in the darkness, there were countless things our ancestors could not explain. Why did strange lights sometimes appear in the distance? Why did people dream about dead relatives? Why did shadows seem to move on their own? Why did terrifying sounds come from deep inside the forest? Without science, these mysteries demanded answers. And when answers didn't exist, imagination stepped in. This may have been the birthplace of countless myths. Imagine a small group of humans sitting around a fire 50,000 years ago. Beyond the glow of the flames lies endless darkness. Someone hears a strange cry. Nobody knows what made it. One person believes it's a spirit. Another thinks it's a monster. A third remembers a story their grandparents told about a creature that hunts after sunset. Suddenly the unknown has become a story, and stories spread. Generation after generation, those stories grow larger, darker, and more detailed. A mysterious sound becomes a supernatural being. A shadow becomes a demon. A dream becomes a message from another world. The darkness became a canvas for human imagination. But there was another reason the night felt so terrifying. When humans are isolated in darkness, the brain begins behaving differently. Modern studies have shown that sensory deprivation can alter perception. When the brain lacks information from the outside world, it starts filling in the gaps. People begin seeing shapes that aren't there, hearing sounds that don't exist, feeling a presence nearby. Even today, people report these experiences. Now, imagine living your entire life surrounded by darkness every single night. For our ancestors, these experiences weren't psychological curiosities. They were a reality. If someone felt an invisible presence standing nearby, they didn't think about brain chemistry. They thought something was actually there. This may explain why nearly every culture on Earth developed stories about spirits, ghosts, and supernatural beings. The experiences felt real because to the brain, they were real. But perhaps the most powerful thing our ancestors thought about at night wasn't monsters. It was death. During the day, survival demanded constant attention, finding food, avoiding predators, protecting family, building shelter. There was little time for deep reflection, but night changed everything. As the fire burned low and the world became quiet, humans were left alone with their thoughts. They watched loved ones grow old. They watched people disappear forever. They wondered what happened after death. Where did people go? Did they continue somewhere else? Were they watching from beyond? Could they return? These questions may have become some of humanity's first philosophical thoughts. The darkness forced people to confront mysteries larger than themselves. And from those mysteries came religion, spirituality, and the search for meaning. But there was one fear greater than all the others. The fear of what could be hiding just beyond the firelight. Researchers believe fire transformed human evolution in remarkable ways. Fire gave warmth. Fire provided protection. Fire allowed communities to gather together after sunset. Yet fire also created a sharp boundary. Inside the light was safety. Outside the light was uncertainty. Our ancestors spent countless nights staring into that darkness, and their imagination filled it with possibilities. Maybe there was a predator waiting. Maybe there was an enemy. Maybe there was something far stranger. The human brain became incredibly skilled at imagining what might be hidden beyond sight. Ironically, this ability helped us survive survive. The same imagination that created monsters also created strategies, tools, and future plans. Fear became one of humanity's greatest teachers, but something unexpected happened. As human intelligence grew, the darkness became more than a source of fear. It became a source of wonder. People looked upward. For the first time, they noticed the stars. Without city lights, the night sky appeared breathtaking. Millions of stars stretched across the heavens. Bright planets moved slowly overhead. The Milky Way painted a glowing river across the darkness. Our ancestors couldn't explain what they were seeing, yet they couldn't stop looking. Questions began forming. What are those lights? Why do they move? Who put them there? Could someone be watching from above? Many ancient creation stories may have started with humans staring into the night sky and searching for answers. The darkness that once inspired fear also inspired curiosity, and curiosity changed everything because eventually humans stopped accepting mystery. They began investigating it. The same species that once imagined monsters in the darkness eventually created astronomy. The same species that feared invisible spirits eventually discovered psychology. The same species that invented myths eventually developed science. The darkness did not disappear. Our understanding grew. Yet something fascinating remained. Even in the modern world, people still fear the dark. Children often feel it naturally. Adults sometimes experience it secretly. A strange noise at night still captures our attention. A shadow in an empty room can still create unease. A dark hallway can still make the imagination race. Why? Because the ancient brain still lives inside the modern skull. The world around us changed faster than evolution could keep up. Deep within your mind exists the same survival system that protected your ancestors thousands of generations ago. The darkness no longer hides lions and predators. But your brain doesn't completely know that. It still prepares for danger. It still searches for patterns. It still wonders what might be hidden just out of sight. And perhaps that is the most incredible realization of all. The gods, monsters, spirits, and myths of ancient humanity were not simply stories. They were reflections of the human mind confronting the unknown. Every shadow, every legend, every supernatural tale reveals something profound about who we are. The darkness was never just outside our ancestors. It was inside them, and in many ways, it is still inside us today. The next time you find yourself awake in the middle of the night, listening to an unexplained sound or staring into a dark room, remember this. You are experiencing a feeling older than civilization itself. A feeling shared by countless generations before you. A feeling that helped shape human history, create religions, inspire myths, and drive the search for knowledge. The darkness frightened our ancestors, but it also made them wonder, and that wonder may have been the spark that eventually illuminated the world.